Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping into Happiness. We are on episode 15, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right this week. We are your hosts. I am Rachel.
And I'm Maggie. Yay, Rachel!
It took me like 3 episodes to get back to how am I supposed to say this? I have no idea. It was somebody even commented on our Instagram, and I was like, I'm losing it. I don't know what else to say.
Y'all might not realize that Rachel does a lot of the back end of our podcast, so she has earned her slip-ups here or there. She works very, very hard.
My brain is fried, apparently, for those episodes. I don't even know. Woo! But, okay, so welcome and hello. So for anybody that may be new, Maggie and I are on a wellness journey. And I feel like you can always say that. I feel like there's no end to a wellness journey. I have hit my weight loss goal, so I'm in maintenance. Maggie is still going. We have used WW as our program to lose the weight and to maintain it. So just a little in a nutshell. Little quick announcement. There is new merch in the merch store. I don't know if everybody was listening a couple episodes ago and I said something, and Maggie, I think jokingly said, we'll smack that on a mug. And so I did. I don't think she knew I was going to, but I'm like, I will do that. I'm way too literal. Don't tell me to do something.
It's on the shop. I have just confirmed. Yes. So y'all need to go check it out and see what she
mugs, bags. Yeah. Oh yeah, I put it on everything. And if you guys ever have a fun idea, I'm totally down. I love it. We have total control of our merch store. So all the fun ideas, all the cool things. So and I've been wearing them every week, every Wednesday on new episode day. I wear me some merch, and then I've gotten people asking. So it's really cool to get the conversation started. And we want to say, because this is coming out on the Wednesday before Easter. So happy Easter to those who celebrate and to those who don't.
Happy spring! Yay! Finally! It is the prelude to my favorite season. So I love spring, but I love summer. So
and I feel so bad though, because I'm hot here in Southern California. It is 92 right now, and it's supposed to get a couple more degrees hotter. Oh yeah, but just this morning I was talking to friends and members in Minnesota and Pennsylvania and Maine. They're like, it's raining. And it's 30 degrees outside. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. So spring might be a little late for you this year, but it is on its way. I promise.
We are bringing you the sunshine in our podcast today.
Right? Yes. You be the sunshine you'd like to see in the world.
Put that on a mug.
We might have to now.
This is going to be an ongoing thing.
It might be. All right. Well, today's episode, we want to address Easter. And Maggie and I have talked about it. And because it's, in my mind, holiday-wise, very similar to Valentine's Day. Because I feel like it's very candy-centric. It's very candy-centered.
Yes.
So I feel like a lot of the struggles people might have had on Valentine's Day, they might still be having on Easter. Even though on Valentine's Day, I feel like it's person to person. And I have children. So on Easter, it's what did Easter Bunny bring you? And
right.
You want to get into the kids' candy. Thank goodness. And I know my kids are super not the norm. They really don't care much for candy or cake. My kids never want cake for birthdays. They usually want a pie.
Are they okay?
Yeah, no. They don't like cake. So I'm like, thank goodness. So I don't usually have a ton of candy in my house, but understanding that though. So it's a holiday on a wellness journey. Sometimes if it's very food centered, candy centered, that can, I feel like, bring up possibly apprehension and nervousness and all of these other emotions that make it just not so fun, because we're so focused on, I don't want to mess up. I'm doing air quotes. I don't want to mess up, or I don't want to go over on my points. If you're WW, I don't want to eat the candy. So I still thought it would be good to address it and to talk about it and to let you know that we get you. We get it.
Right. Yeah.
It's a stressful day. It's a stressful thing. So, getting into that, I was wondering if for you, Maggie, do you ever feel like coming into a holiday, especially I said, a very candy focused one? Because I feel like we have some that are very food focused, Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that.
Right.
But Valentine's Day, Halloween, Easter, super candy focused. Does that make you nervous? Does that, what does that do for you? Does that give you any kind of anxiety?
I am very lucky in the fact that I control a lot of my environment. So, and my partner Seth is not a huge candy person. He'll get the very rare hankering for Skittles. Very rare.
That's cute.
But not even a chocolate candy kind of person. He's just not. So for me, I do, especially this time of year, there's some specific seasonal things like Starburst jelly beans and
Oh, those
then
are
the
good.
Cadbury eggs. Every time I've gone into a store, or really a gas station, I've looked like, do they have Cadbury eggs? Because maybe I'll just get the one. And they
Yeah.
haven't. At a lot of the gas stations, I guess they're mostly sold in the grocery stores.
I say, which
But
is weird.
yeah,
You
I
just see them
haven't seen.
everywhere.
I know. So I'm
Yeah.
like, that for some reason is pulling me in more than even Halloween candy would because again,
Yeah.
Halloween candy, it's usually candy we can get all year, but just in smaller
I
portions.
hadn't really thought of it that way, right? Yeah, because usually it's still the Kit Kats, it's still the Reese's, which you can get at any time. But
Right.
Cadbury eggs are 100% my favorite candy, and like it's
Yeah.
a seasonal thing. Even though
Right.
they've started to put out Cadbury Scream eggs at Halloween, which I
Oh.
adore, so I look for them that year too. So in my mind, I do that. Where I what is that word that when we kind of make an excuse for like, oh well, I only get it twice a year.
Justify it.
Justify.
Yeah.
I 100% do that in my brain. I justify. Look, well, I won't get it for this many months, and so I can have a couple. I even got the other day. They have like the little dozen of the minis because I figured, oh, I'll just have a
Okay.
mini. Those are going to be, that's not as bad as the big one. Thank goodness
Mhm.
I put it in the cabinet because I had it on the counter for a few days, and I just would like, bloop, bloop. When I put it in the cabinet, I still have like 4 in there because I forgot I had them.
Yeah.
So like, but, oh yes.
I've noticed with candy, proximity is a big thing for me. Like if
Mhm.
like Seth's mom always has a jar of peanut M&Ms and regular M&Ms 365. Like you go
Yeah,
over to her house and it's fully stocked every single time I go over there. And
that's
I
cute.
notice I'm drawn to go to the peanut M&M jar and just grab a
Yeah.
couple. So I know like for me, I can't have that kind of thing in my house because I would be all up in
That is what happens when you have dogs and recording at home.
They're very passionate about the candy, I think. They didn't like the idea of the peanut butter
Or they're
M&Ms.
defending it. I don't know. They hear
Yeah.
you getting twisted. They're like, because we have those. We at okay. Look at. I'm going to show you for those of us on YouTube. This is for real a peanut M&M injury. I had just gotten my nails done, and we went to Sam's Club and got the big jar of it. And I went to grab it from the top, and it slipped and bink.
Oh
One of my
no.
nails off, picking up the thing of M&Ms. I felt like that was a sign from like the universe, like, girl, you should not be taking this home
And
with you.
if y'all never had nails like that, I mean, it hurts.
I didn't
That's
even notice though. Oddly,
oh
I
well,
know
that's
normally it
good.
hurts really bad. I didn't even notice, and my son was the one that noticed, and I was like, "What the? Oh, like." But same.
Rats.
I had I love. I first of all, I love that Seth's mom has like candy
Yeah.
at the ready.
Yeah, or in a bowl of Hershey Kisses. Like she
Yes,
even had a bowl for Mardi Gras. She had ordered special Hershey Kisses for Mardi Gras, and they
that's
were like,
adorable.
"Yeah, but I am like the kind of person where I'll just do a drive by." So
Mm-hmm.
it's like every time I go over there, and so we're actually talking about the week that we're recording this podcast. We're doing internal and external hunger
Mm-hmm.
in workshops and talking about like the apple test. So would I eat
Yeah.
an apple? So I'm already prepared to apply this test when I walk by the frickin' Hershey Kisses and peanut M&M jar the next
Yes.
time because it's always an external cue for me.
Yeah, it's wild how parallel our lives can be sometimes. So I think
Right.
I was telling you, I had gotten really stressed out. I was very stressed for a couple of weeks, just from life in general. I mean, like, so I'm in Southern California. Gas got like over $6 a gallon here, and so like you didn't want to go anywhere. It was making food more expensive. My kids started another sport, and like just everything was hitting ahead. And we had just gotten that big jar of peanut M&Ms, and I was just, like you said, driving by, just grabbing some. And it was like instant, like make me feel better kind of thing. And I didn't even realize how often I was doing it until one day I literally had to stop and be like, why? Why am I doing that? And first thing I did though was I put them in the cabinet because, like I said, I do much better if things are not in my eyesight. So I put them in the cabinet, and then I had to figure out like what was it, and it was a stress thing. It was an external, like whatever, like, trigger. It was an external hunger. It was so it was not in any way because my body needed fuel. It was there. It was chocolate, and it was feeding something completely different. It was feeding my stress. And I figured that but being able to recognize it, like you said, that's what we've been talking about this week, especially with WW. Recognizing that was such a big step for me, because I put them away, and I was like, I had to think, what makes me feel in control? What makes me feel less stressed out? And it was paper planners. I think I told you last week I was going to go get one, and my daughter went with me. I still need to show you, because I got a Disney one, and on the outside it's Mickey and Minnie, and it says "Find happiness in the journey."
Oh,
I mean, it was like for me. So but like you said, like figuring that out and having that candy, that holiday candy, whether you have it out, like Seth's mom, and I got the little, the Easter colored ones too, like the ones that we have, like, it was holiday themed, and
right.
Oh yeah, I just had to get it out of the sight. I had to get it out of the way and figure out why I was grabbing it. So
I my gears were turning mentally here as we're kind of discussing this and how we can navigate it. And I think one of our biggest tools, whether you're a WW member or a calorie counter or however you manage your food, is to do your research. In our world, it's check the points. So I was curious, because I've done a countless drive-by of the M&Ms, and I know I would do a countless drive-by of Starburst jelly beans if they were available to me. I looked up the points, and 14 peanut M&Ms, 8 points. That's almost half my day. So it could be, but 5 of them, 3 points. But if I'm grabbing 5 multiple times a week or multiple times a day, that adds up. The jelly beans, Starburst jelly beans, a fourth of a cup, 10 points.
Wow. Yeah. Not what I was expecting.
Right. And a lot of it comes from the added sugar.
Yeah.
Right. Because for those that don't know the point system, we do calories, and then they break down the certain macronutrients and whatnot. But I definitely could dominate way more than a fourth of a cup of jelly beans if I wasn't thinking about it.
I thought about that too. I'm like, okay, I'm not saying I can't ever have the peanut M&Ms anymore, but I wanted to like break them down, putting them into smaller baggies, so I knew, because same, like, if I just take that handful, I'm not going to sit there and count it out half the time. But I kid you not, since I moved it and since the day I got my planner, I don't think I've had one. I had to figure out what that external trigger was doing. And then once I figured that out, that was super helpful. But I was not expecting jelly beans to be so high, though. Like, that's wild.
Right. It is.
So because if you're on WW, it's personal points, and so everybody's points are a little bit different. So like one, like that's something that's a certain amount of points for me might not be the certain amount of points for Maggie. So just if you were WW, and the Cadbury eggs, I want to say the big one is like 9 points. 8 or 9. It might have gone up.
One egg, 10 points.
Yeah,
now,
see?
And things like this, it's pretty much the same across the board for all members. Now, if like, Rachel and I, one of us had brown rice as 0 and the other person didn't, that would vary. But for things like Cadbury eggs, pretty much for all of us, it's going to be 10 points for one egg. Rachel!
Yeah.
Makes me want to scream. I think having that information, though, it gives us power, because then we really get to decide if it's worth it, or if the seasonal moment is worth it, or if it's not.
See, and that's where my brain goes. It's a seasonal thing. But see, I have to stop doing that, because then I get to that at Halloween. Oh, it's seasonal. And then I get to that at Christmas. But they're Christmas cookies. I have to get my brain out of that mode, because it's going to come around every single year. It really does. It's not something that, like you said, it's not something that, obviously Cadbury eggs aren't around all year long, but make it a special thing. Maybe only have it on Easter Sunday and have it that one day. Like I said, I got the minis, and I've been really spreading out the minis, because they're like, like a quarter or less of the size of the regular egg, which is so glorious. Yeah. But those things, those sweets, honestly though, so we had to go out and get something last night, and my husband told my son, hey, if you come with us, you want to go get some ice cream? And I was like, we're going to go get ice cream? And I wasn't going to turn down ice cream with my boys. And so we went to Baskin Robbins, but I came home and I tracked everything. And honestly, if I hadn't had the waffle bowl, because I love the waffle cone bowl, I would have still been within my daily points. Like, cause I've been really paying attention to my meals. What am I having in my meals? Making sure I'm having whole things in my meals and my veggies and my proteins and the very low points for, WW words, low points for my meals. And so I really didn't have a terrible day. So having that ice cream was, for one, glorious. And I'm glad I made that memory with my husband and my son. And I still just was very aware. I took ownership of it and I'm like, there we go. That was something I was willing to spend those points on. And I think we can apply that to the holidays. Like, what are we willing to apply that to? 100%. Oh,
I also think, aside from the candy, I love a good Easter brunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about brunch. I'm thinking about ham. I'm thinking about biscuits. So for me, that is a part of it too. Is the brunch. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but I love a good brunch moment.
Yes.
Holiday or otherwise. So I'm definitely going to be thinking about how what's going to be on the menu, because at the end of the day, I really have a big say in that. So, definitely helps to think about it in advance.
And I've for those that don't know, Maggie and I are also virtual coaches with WW. And in one of my workshops today, actually, people were already talking about Easter. Like, okay, well, I've been invited to this thing or I'm going to this and they want me to bring something. And that, I think, evokes a different kind of anxiety. Because for one, which I don't think we should ever feel this way, but I know people just immediately turn to that. Like, oh, I don't want to bring something that people think is gross or because it's low calorie or because it's, and honestly, I kid you not, I can still make things for my husband and my kids and they don't even realize that it's low in calories or points or sugars, because there's so many things that you can change and alter now, like G.Hughes, the barbecue sauce. Oh, you used it, huh?
I just posted it today. Yeah.
Sugar-free barbecue sauce. Like, and it's so good and it cuts out so much of that calories, those added sugars. But just doing those little things, like, gosh, a few years ago for Super Bowl at my sister's house, I made a WW recipe and they were 0-point deviled eggs. Nobody knew the difference. Everyone just thought they were gloriously yummy. And I brought a veggie tray and some fruit, and there's always something you can bring to an event or if it's brunch at someone's house, and making sure that there's things that you feel comfortable snacking on, that you feel comfortable reaching for. And we have there's so many options, guys. Look online. Pinterest is phenomenal for so many recipes. Put in there that if you're looking for a low-cal brunch, a low-cal lunch, a low-cal dinner, or if there's something else that you're looking, like maybe if you want it to be a lower carb, maybe if you want it to be, or if you are WW, you can put low point, and that should pop up too, because a lot of people that are WW will use that terminology.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of options. Don't be afraid to use those.
I was craving, this is not 100% on topic, but I can tie it in. Don't worry. I was 100% craving chili cheese hot dogs, like mad, just out of nowhere. So I went to ye old Google machine and I said low point, or I said WW chili cheese hot dogs, and I came up with a casserole recipe from Pound Dropper. That you can have the hot dog wrapped in a reduced fat crescent roll, baked with turkey chili and shredded cheese. For me, 6 points per serving.
That's a good size meal, and that's a good amount of points.
Yeah, and then I did it with veggies. So anyway, we digress. You can do this, like, if there's something that's standard for you on any given holiday, and you want that seasonal moment, but you want to fit it in the budget a little more easily, just get on the Google or get on your WW app if you have access to that. Look in the recipes and find something that gets you excited, because I hadn't been that pumped for a dinner I had made at home in months. Like, I was jacked up about it, and I planned my whole day around it, and I was so excited. So it's totally doable. I think with any holiday, there's so much strength in planning ahead and understanding what's going to be worth it to you to make sure that this feels like a lifestyle and not a diet.
Definitely. Ooh, I know. Like I said, we really wanted to touch on it a little bit this week, just to let y'all know, like, we get it, we understand, and we can get through another holiday, a candy-focused holiday. And first and foremost, too, should you dive into the candy? Should you give in? And should you do those drive-bys? All right, it happened. Moving on. yes.
From the peanut gallery, they agree.
Keeping it going. Well, let's get into our STAR goals, though, and our recommendations for this week. So when it comes to my STAR goal for this week, we talk about this a lot with the STAR principle. STAR stands for something specific, truly doable, having an action, and it's relevant. And for months, I've been putting meditate on my monthly goals. And every month I lay mine out and I was looking at it, and I was like, I still hadn't been doing it. And I think I finally figured out why I wasn't. I was just saying, start meditating. So this month I have put on there, meditate on Monday nights for 5 minutes.
Okay.
I did this last Monday. So I want to keep it up for the rest of the month. I was just listening. So for those WW out there, they have these things called walk talks. And I was just listening to one. She was the author of the You're a Badass series. And she was saying,
I listened to that one. Yeah.
Get into the habit of the habit. And that really stuck with me when she said that. I'm like, right? Because I didn't have to start off doing 20 minutes. I could start off doing 5, 3. And just get into the habit of the habit. So that's what I'm shooting for this month, is getting into the habit of meditating on Monday nights for 5 minutes. So that's my goal this week. And my recommendation is, I'm telling you guys, I know I mentioned the deviled eggs. If you're going to an event, if you want to have that feel of bringing something, I highly recommend that deviled egg recipe. I found it on Pinterest of all places. So yeah, look up those recipes, guys. Try something new. Don't be afraid if somebody says, "Oh, is this dead?" So we'd be like, "No, it's food." And just bring it. Bring your food with passion and conviction, and be like, nope, this is what we're having here. This is what I'm bringing, and just be proud of your dish. So I'm all that, guys. What about you, Maggie?
For my STAR goal, I have been identifying as a breakfast at home girl. That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to shift my mindset to make more breakfasts at home. So my goal is to have minimum 5 breakfasts at home this week in preparation for Easter brunch, so I can have that space in my budget for a higher point brunch. And then my recommendation is actually my planner. So I think I mentioned this in a recent episode. Yeah, and by the time this podcast will go up, I will have already made a post on Instagram about it. But I'm really loving it. It's a 4-month planner that you can plan in every single day. So I have a 4-month vision for those that are not on YouTube. I'm showing it off. And then a habit tracking sheet. And then you can look at the month ahead and you can set your 10 goals for the month and important dates. And then there's a week ahead. So you can write down your 10 goals of the month and then talk about your specific strategies for that week that will benefit those goals. And then there's sheets for notes, and then a day-by-day plan with just lots of different categories and things. So it's been really helpful for me because I like doing lists and just kind of quick bullets. And then what's really cool too, they have, it's either done, almost, or tomorrow. So you can mark if you accomplished it or not. So I really have been liking that. I've been writing down and planning for 7 days straight now. So it's called the Daily Grind Planner. They have an Instagram as well. And I'm really excited about that.
I think I put the link to it in on our show notes a couple episodes ago, but I'll do it again for this time too, so you guys can link to it.
And the back says donuts, dumbbells, and dreams. So
that is so
it's cute. A major win. Yeah.
This is not a quote for the day, but I saw one today and it says, "I'm just a girl standing in front of a vegetable wishing it was a donut." And I was like, "Oh, I just so yeah, your little donut thing." But I do have a closing quote today. So our closing quote: we need more from you, from the listeners, from the fans. Let us know your quotes, guys. I 100% will use them. I will say your name if you allow me to, because we love hearing them from you guys too. What inspires you? What words have kept up for you, and something that you would really like to share with us that we can share with everyone else. So I do have a really good one though this week, and this is actually from Albert Einstein, and it says, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving."
Yes.
It just makes a lot of sense, right? And I'm a very visual person, so I love that visual effect of it too. Like, just keep moving forward, like you're on a bicycle, because when you stop, you're gonna tip over. So just keep moving, guys. I feel like I 100% now hear Dory in my head. Just keep swimming. Like,
yes.
She had it right too, right? Like, it's all there. It all ties together. All right, guys. But all right, we're gonna wrap things up. So thanks for dropping by.
Have a magical day, y'all. Bye.
Bye.